Hello everybody, it's your boy Ann here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, in today's video, I want to talk about build variety slash building in the first Descendant. Now, I've seen other people mention that building in this game is very difficult and stuff like that, and I'm here to tell you it's absolutely not. Now, with builds, this is for literally every single Descendant, by the way. You just grab an ability and you focus on it. You basically end up with the exact same setup across multiple Descendants. And if you want my honest opinion on what that is, even closing my eyes slash not looking at the mods, we're just gonna go with cooldown. We're going to go with all 4 cooldown modules, so 2 of the focus on modules. In Bunny's instance, because we are using electric and singular, focus on electric and focus on singular. Nimble fingers for cooldown, and then where's MP conversion? MP conversion. So we have 4 cooldown modules to make the build work. Then we also want to add 2 more damage modules, so the amplification modules. With basically every Descendant, it's either the amplification modules or it's the crit modules. In this instance, amplification. So singular and electric amplification. What's next? 2 range modules, so that we can have a good amount of range. And then what's after that? A little bit of QOL. So you've got 2 modules for QOL. And for Bunny in this instance, I'll go with MP Collector. And then I'll also go with Maximize Conservation. So there you go. That's a Bunny build complete. Now, trigger mods, we're just going to ignore them for a moment, just so that we can focus on the actual build in this game. Now, builds in this game are basically all the same. It does not matter which Descendant you are playing. This is 100% the template you're going to come back to. Let's have a look at another Descendant. Let's say, for example, Lepic. Now, Lepic, again, literally the exact same setup. 1 cooldown module, 2 cooldown module, 3 and 4. Now with Lepic, you go crit instead of non-crit, because crit is significantly better. And then with that, instead of having focus on A or B, instead of focusing on the focus on and the amplification modules, you go with the crit modules. And because of that, you're going to use the 2 extra ones, because you want all 4 crit modules for the best performance. You've got 2 modules left. 1 range module is enough to get away with it. If it isn't, then the second module is just going to be another range module, and then boom, that's your build done again. Now, a lot of people have said that build variety exists in this game, and to that I say you are fucking delusional. There is no build variety. It's either go full crit and full cooldown, or go full range, full damage, and again full cooldown. The only instance where you basically don't end up building into full cooldown specifically is when you're taking advantage of gapping time, and even with gapping time you still basically end up putting a singular cooldown module on. An example of a gapping time build would be something like this with Bunny. This is specifically here for per challenge 5, so this is an example of where you would end up using it. Now with this, right, crit is the same as non-crit. Again, just all 4 crit modules, all 4 cooldown modules, 4 damage modules, 1 range, and a QOL or a second range module. So does this just apply to Bunny? No. Let's have a look at like basically every fucking Descendant in the game, and let me show you how this applies to everyone. Lepic, I already went over this. Jaber, same story. You just want max builds on his turret and stuff like that. Viessa, you all use Viessa with max cooldown anyways. Kyle, I'm sorry, I don't know Kyle because I just suck. Enzo, same thing, you just want maxed out duration. So instead of damage mods, you basically end up just going with duration mods. Same thing can be said over here, or over here, so on and so forth. You know, a lot of the builds are very, very straightforward. You just choose 1 or 2 things, and then you call it a day. Eugen, again, damage, literally. Bunny, we went over that. Glare, you focus on gunning specifically. So this is what I would go with on Glare. There's basically 1 build for every single Descendant that works the best, and that's basically it. For Valby, it's her crit build as well. Literally this, or if you want to use it in Purge, use skill extension and use selective recovery MP in combat, or amplification control there. Amplification control there, and selective MP recovery. Even with Freyna, same thing. You basically just end up in the exact same location. Two range modules, a duration module, two cooldown modules, and in this instance, because Freyna doesn't need as much, we went and focused on maxing out the damage significantly harder, and then scaling it. Basically, every Descendant has one build where they're practically better than their other builds, right? And this is a topic I wanted to focus on, specifically a topic I wanted to focus on, because I know people be like, yeah, you can do multiple builds. For example, there's people that believe in the Divine Surge build with Serena. There's people that believe in the Final Wish build for bossing. People believe that there's a Purge build, and people believe that there's a Wall Crasher build and all of that sort of stuff. There isn't. They all, literally every single one of these will just come under a Final Wish build, or they will all just come under a multi-talented build. Serena has one build, and it's her fourth ability, Flying Gunning build, because that build trumps every single other build. You can use a Purge build on Serena and boss with it. You can use a Purge build and absolutely violate everything with it. You can literally use one build on every Descendant, and that works effectively. This is a bossing build with Hurley, this is a sniping build with Hurley, but what you're going to do, you're just going to use the last dagger along with a gunning build with hyper focus, and that might not be as fast as shooting them with a sniper, but this build will absolutely nuke with Hurley as well. Like, there's just so little in terms of actual builds to do for each character, to the point where it makes me question where people claim build variety exists. And let me talk about the rest of builds as well. With the reactor, it's basically always the same as well. It's going to be cooldown or duration up if you need that for your abilities. If not, and you're focusing on something specific, let's say this, a lightning singular ability, you're just going to go electric singular, that's it. And that's it, unless you're doing legional specific damage, like let's say for example Purge Challenge 5, then you'll go with something like singular immortality, but that is such a specific use case scenario to the point where it's not really even worth it. Then external components, how simple are these? You want a little bit of duration, annihilation set. You want skill cost, 2 pieces of it to make skill cost better. Ascending, you want weak point damage. Ballistic, this one doesn't get used. Bravery, you want cooldown, again bravery, not going to be used though, nobody gives a crap about bravery. 2 pieces of mage, very strong, buff all your abilities. The better version of annihilation, firebrand, a little bit of range, a little bit of duration, cool. Hungry Sonic, again, just doesn't get used very much unless you're Luna. Hunter, one of the best sets in the game. You use this as a 2-piece and a 4-piece on a lot of Descendants. It's worth it, invest in it. Plague, again, you use this on a few characters. Inés is a very good example for Plague, especially for 2 pieces. Shell Crusher, 100% a Glare thing, even on Serena as well, 2-piece. Slayer set, if you just want max damage and you don't care about skill cost and you don't care about any drawbacks, go with that. Moving set, we thought this was going to be Bunny's redemption arc, but it's absolutely useless. Supernova, again, it could be used for a little bit of modifier, but for the most part it's useless. And Volcanic, again, it could be used with Lepic for his fire build or firearm build, but for the most part, Slayer is just better and this is just useless. For the trees as well, you're either going to go with one of 3 trees. This is a crit tree, and you might replace this cooldown with this damage over here, and that's it. Secondary, if you've got the X enhancement, you'll go with this one for more damage. This one over here, you could put this the other way for range, but this is the Colossi tree I use on Bunny. And again, you'll shove a cohesion in this top corner. You'd always be able to shove a cohesion cell in this top corner, so that's just more damage. That works. The crit tree as I showed, and then a strip tree. Strip tree as well is always going to include defense neutralization and electric chain catalyst, and enhanced crit rate or just straight up damage if you can. A good example of this would be Freyna. Freyna definitely needs this, or Freyna definitely uses this effectively, like let's say for example in bossing. Bossing is a good example of where Freyna would be using toxic chain catalyst and defense neutralization. Whilst we are talking about Freyna though, can someone please explain to me why with literally maxed damage, like a very high max damage tier build and full plague set and a toxic reactor or tech reactor, I've tried it with both, it doesn't make a difference, and a full stripping tree. Why does Freyna absolutely suck inside of the new vessel? I know her modifier isn't high, but even still, Freyna should not suck this bad. But basically, build variety in this game is practically non-existent. And just because we're talking about the cream of the crop, let's talk about the weapons as well. Let's go over this rabbit hole. With the weapons, let's see how it goes. The last dagger. Meta. The final masterpiece. A pile of shit. The Thunder Cage. One of the worst memes in Sen's stream I've ever seen in my fucking life. But even with that, a decent weapon, but it's not good enough to become meta. The Python. For some reason, there's a bunch of donuts that think this is the best thing with Serena ever. If it is, completely fine. If you believe in it, that's fine. If not, cool. It was a good weapon. It's not the best. It is what it is. Legacy. My beloved. I'm never going to forget what you did for me in preseason. Again, just not relevant now. Cavalry gun. A solid weapon right now. Honestly, it's always been a solid weapon. Is it meta? Kind of. It's like an A tier. And it's a very, very good weapon. Or the bottom of an S tier. Fallen Hope. Yeah. It's okay at best, but you wouldn't use it over a cavalry gun. Excava, a bossing god, great weapon. Triple fire rate with glare, minigun with glare is fun as fuck too. Divine Punishment, decent weapon again for Wall Crasher with Serena, but yeah, that's basically it. Ancient Knight, again, same thing, decent with Serena, very good with Serena actually. Secret Garden, your stat stick for Freyna and for Ines, that's basically it. If you use it on any other Descendants, seek therapy please. Greg's, everyone basically, everyone just, memed this weapon because they hated it in preseason. Voltia, a good bubble stripping weapon, that's about it. Truly Deadly Arsehole, yeah, I've not, wait, actually not, wrong one. I have invested in it. This is just a sack of shit, don't bother. Kingsguard Lance, an actual decent weapon, used in very hyper-specific setups. Ambush with Sharon, for example, or Bunny with the beam build. Clairvoyance, VS's right-hand man for stripping bosses at the end of the mission. It's decent. Perforator, the cool weapon you thought would come back and be relevant, but it's still not fucking relevant because Nell's actual main weak point build is just fucking arse compared to a skill build. Peacemaker, the best stat stick in the game, in my own opinion. If you disagree, completely fine. But if you're going to tell me the Peacemaker versus the Secret Garden, we both know the Secret Garden is not out DPSing the Peacemaker. And Peacemaker can be used on so many more Descendants. Peacemaker wins hands down. Nizo's Devotion, good weapon as well. People use it for this, for a weak point ability. For its unique ability. It's a solid weapon. Malevolent, one of the best weapons in the game. Half the players have it, half the players don't. Yeah, it's pretty much that. Wave of Light, MP recovery with Serena, and that's about it. Frost Watcher, absolutely fucking useless. Eraser, an okay weapon, but why would you use it over the dagger? Literally. Blue Beetle, Bunny and Sharon's best stat stick, specifically for the crit build, because crit is their best build. Executor, poor fucker's not been relevant since Ice Maiden. I was going to say since Gluttony, but Ice Maiden. So basically, yeah, it's not going to work. Piercing Light, a good weapon with Haley. Haley's ultimate nuking weapon. Works decent with Luna as well right now, I believe. Afterglow Sword is trying so hard to be relevant, it hurts my fucking brain. Sigvar's Proof, yeah, we don't even talk about this one. This one is so... You know what, I'm going to invest in this weapon. I want to see if I can pull something out of it. Alright, Sigvar is irrelevant. Restored Relic, most broken most broken launcher in the game. One of the best weapons in the game, full stop. There's a reason I have 5 of them, or 4 of them. Yeah, we don't not fuck with the Relic. Exterminator, the battle pass weapon, that's PP poo poo. That's everywhere that's not in the Axion. The swords, absolute steaming piles of shit. Knowing what happened with the swords, is anyone excited for the newer swords? Yeah, you're not. Stop lying. Smithereens, very, very good deleting weapon. That's basically it. So, let me summarize this in an even simpler way if you couldn't keep up. Meta, use Last Dagger. Meta, use Restored Relic. And Meta, use Malevolent. Or use Smithereens. If you want to use Stat Stick for your Descendant, Secret Garden for Freyna and Ines, Peacemaker for literally everybody else. Blue Beetle for Sharon and Bunny. You're welcome. That's literally it. That's literally it. That's it. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And as for builds on these weapons, what happens when you put proper builds on them? The Secret Garden will crit, but it's still fucking useless. Peacemaker is actually really good at nuking mobs, or like nuking elites and stuff like that. And Blue Beetle is just there for a nice crit buff, but this can also do nice damage too. So basically, everything in this game is as linear, as straightforward as it could possibly be. People that experiment and use builds that like use very, very odd things, they can work, and you can make them work in a solo environment. But for the love of God, if I ever find a bunny that's running like fucking electric charge with a non-crit setup in public, in like fucking Void Vessel 2, I'm gonna take it upon myself to report that person, because they're actually sabotaging your run. They're not gonna do anything in the boss, and they're just sabotaging you, bro. I'll be real with you. But that's basically this video. I know it's a pretty odd video, but I wanted to talk about how there is no freedom or anything in this game for a very long time. And you know what, before I quickly shut this video off or call it a day, let me talk about weapon builds as well, because all weapon builds are the fucking same too. It's great. Let me just grab a dagger and a beetle as an example. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got our two damage mods: action, reaction, and rifling. So we've got our firearm attack, right? We need all 3 crit mods: better insight, better concentration, and concentration priority. Nice. We've got 1 crit rate, 2 crit damage mods. We're gonna have a fire rate mod, an element mod, a weak point, and a mag mod, and then infinite ammo. Nice. So what do we have on the dagger? Let's see. Action, reaction, rifling enforcement. Two of the mods. We've got our better concentration priority. Nice. We've got that. In this instance, I'm not using insight on better insight on the dagger, because the dagger doesn't need it. And then weak point, fire rate, infinite ammo, and then 2 element mods. Could use 1 element mod and put insight in, but the dagger already has such a high crit rate, there's no point. So yeah, that's basically builds on weapons as well. They're all the fucking same, unless you're using multi-hit. Then with multi-hit or shit like that, all it basically is just this. You just drop your crit rate and crit damage mod for a multi-hit chance mod and a multi-hit damage mod, and that's literally a multi-hit build done. Exact same principle, same modules across everything else. That's just how it is. So yeah, that's basically in the video. Hope you've enjoyed. If you still struggle with builds, check out my other videos on them, I guess. And if I don't have a video on them, let me know and I'll make one. But yeah, that's basically in today's video. Hope you've enjoyed. Smash that like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.